don't like, they can just enforce it by themselves. Do you agree with that?
I don't know even what you're talking about. Neither do you. Who are you with?
Up close, sir.
Who?
Up close.
Oh, no wonder. I thought they died. Are they still around? I haven't read that.
I miss that so much. Joining me now, somebody who loves that stuff probably more than even I do, the host of You're Welcome, my friend Michael Malice. Michael, I don't even care the subject they were talking about. I just love watching corporate journalists get bullied like losers. I think it's fantastic.
Do you know what Trump did, which was so brilliant, and what he picked up on, which I don't think a lot of people did? The guy said, your vice president suggested blah, 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 blah. So he's asking Trump to react to his interpretation of what J.D. Vance said instead of saying, your vice president said this. Do you agree? So this is how the game they play. So I could say, I go to somebody else and go, Jesse Kelly made some comments that some people have described as racially insensitive. What do you think? It's a gotcha game. It's not reacting to what you actually said. It's characterizing you in a certain way and pitting people against each other in a very disingenuous way. And I'm so glad Trump's like, go after yourself. Like he knew before he even knew who the guy was, that the guy's from a disreputable organization. He wasn't even like, he's like, where are you with? Like, because he knows even NBC or CBS isn't going to do crap like this. Like, where are you from? I'm from New York. It's a very New York thing. Like, where are you from? How'd you get in here?
I have made a bunch of racially insensitive comments. It's who I am anyway. So that's fine. I think everyone accepts it at this point in time. Okay, Michael, how do these people see themselves? These filthy corporate journalist types who are worthy of so much scorn. Are they just trying to earn a paycheck? And they know he's got to ask that question. He's got to be a filthy little communist hack. Does he genuinely think he's some kind of communist revolutionary? I still can't figure these people out completely.
Well, I don't know how they look at themselves because they don't cast a reflection. But I don't think it's as simple as them just like, oh, I have to do this for the paycheck. Because if that was the case, someone else could give him more money and they could do a better job, right? So I don't think he thinks he's a communist revolutionary either. I think they think correctly, I'm a random nobody with some degree from some secondary school. I'm antagonizing the president of the United States. That's a pretty good gig for someone with very few qualities that are brag-worthy. But these gotcha games are over, and they've been over, especially when you had, Officer Harris as the last nominee, and she couldn't answer, the difference between her right and her left. So I think things are going in a much better direction, obviously.
Michael, Trump's clearing out these agencies, well, trying to. Obviously, they're going to try to throw a monkey wrench in the gears as much as possible. But I'm sitting there this morning and I'm reading through all these articles about the FEMA payments and the U.S. aid and all the crap that we've all been talking about for a couple weeks. And it really hits me. I'm genuinely impressed. I hate these people, but I am so impressed how they've spent decades just taking over every institution and turning it into something that only works for them and works against us. And we've just been blissfully unaware, just kind of whistling past the graveyard as they took it all. They took the Boy Scouts and we were just doing nothing about it.
I don't think we're whistling at all. I think a lot of people were complaining about this for a very long time, and Republicans in Washington didn't do crap about it. Or what would happen is when Obama's building something, they would pitch a fit correctly, and then as soon as Trump comes in or as soon as George W. Bush came in, they just left it standing. They refused to take back what their opponents had built. And this is the first time in either of our lifetimes, Jesse, where a Republican president is putting points on the board. Instead of just playing defense, he's going on offense. And everyone listening to this knows how demoralizing it is to have things taken away. Let's suppose we walk into our house, Jesse, someone broke in and they just took, I don't know, like a loaf of bread. It's loaf of bread, who cares? But that sense of violation, someone's been in my home, something's been taken from me, it's morally disturbing. So that is what's so great about what he's doing. He's taking the fight to them. He's going to their house, and he's taking things that they regard as sacrosanct, LBJ level executive orders. I mean, this was not on the table in 2024. So I am giddy about what's going to happen next 4 years. And as a fan of mine pointed out, Trump lied. He said we'd get sick of winning, and that's complete BS.
They did, and I've tried to warn people that you think you're mad about U.S. aid, and of course we're all mad about U.S. aid, and we're enjoying watching it all get exposed. Wait till the old Pentagon audit comes through. We've seen just the tip so far. There is so much more coming, and I think it's going to be eye-popping for a lot of normies out there. Because as you said, some of us have been screaming about this for a long time. We've just never had anyone with the guts to actually do something about it.
Yeah, and I think with normies, when people are lied to, regardless of your politics, people get upset. So if you're funding things like Politico and some of these news organizations, normies who were told for years, we're independent journalists, we speak truth to power, and now you're getting millions from the government, that's obviously not being independent at all. That's being an agent of the state. That's a very different situation. And the thing is, my understanding is, Trump basically re-engineered a program that Obama had built. So this is why legally they're having such issues stopping it. DOGE is not a new organization. It's a repurposing of an Obama-built organization, and they don't know what to do to stop it, and they can't. And he's really on a tear, and it's just Jesse. Not only did neither of us ever see something like this in our lifetimes, I think both of us would have agreed if you asked us in November if something like this would happen, we'd be like, slow your roll. We could be optimistic, but come on, Washington is slow. This is not going to happen. Let's be realistic.
I think I said that verbatim. I'm pretty sure I said that verbatim on my show. Trump's going to do a lot of good things. He's going to get the border secured. Slow down on how he's going to fix all this stuff. This is not. I was the king cynic on all this stuff. He's going so fast, Michael. I got to check my phone for updates during the commercial breaks of the show because God only knows what he's attacking next of these people. It's amazing. Honestly, it was a couple weeks ago. Some congresswoman introduced some bill to put Trump's face on Mount Rushmore, and I'll be honest, I completely rolled my eyes. I read it and thought, okay, that's the dumbest freaking thing I've ever heard. If he actually eliminates the Department of Transportation, or Department of Education, actually, transportation can go too. If he actually deletes the Department of Education, you can remove the other four faces as far as I'm concerned and just make Trump the whole Mount Rushmore.
Screw Mount Rushmore, put him on the currency.
Oh, they'd lose their minds. Put him on a $100 bill and watch all these libs burn their money.
What's even funnier is, as someone else pointed out, now every teacher has him on the wall twice with that Hall of Presidents because he's 45 and 47. You got to look at that face twice.
Okay, Michael. The Democrat Party is in disarray, and it's not a party I want to revive at all. But parties do come back. You have pointed it out to me several times before. This is a party that has held power really for most of the time, certainly most of the 20th century in Washington, D.C. They will come back. Right now, it's hard to see how that happens. Jasmine Crockett can't get her fat mouth off the television set. They appear to be leaderless, doubling down on everything that wasn't working. Where do they go from here?
There's two ways, and one is really scary and one is really not so scary. Which one do you want to hear first?
Oh, I want to hear the not so scary. We'll finish with scary.
The not so scary is the John Fetterman route, where you work with the Republicans on issues that like a huge percentage of Americans agree on, and then you pick your battles on the things that the country has not come around to, and you find a path forward because a lot of people for many years have voted Democrat. When Upton Sinclair ran for governor of California in 1934, after running several times as socialist, he ran as a Democrat and he said, people like voting for parties that the grandparents voted for. So that brand name, although it's tarnished now, is still a household name that everyone knows. So there's definitely a path to go this Clinton 90s Democrat way, in the same way the Republican Party was dead after George W. Bush, and look what ended up happening. The scary route is there's a lot of people in the Democratic Party and the Democratic intelligentsia who want us to go back to a regimented COVID-style regime. They want this. They want the cage. And going in that direction, as they're going in England, is a path forward for at least some members of the Democratic Party and some of the leaders in power. Instead of the soft glove, let's get the iron fist.
I don't think you're wrong about that at all. It's all they understand is force anyway. All right, Michael, I have to let you go. Thank you, my brother. I'm out of time. Come back soon.
Great pleasure.
I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.